Guess what, guys? Today is the day I hit the milestone of 1000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. And let me tell you, I'm beyond thrilled. But hey, this is just the beginning of the incredible journey. And I'm ready to take it to the next level with even more amazing content. So, are you ready to dive in and join me in this exciting ride? If so, stick around because things are about to get seriously awesome. And as a way to celebrate reaching this milestone, I have got something special for you guys. If you ever dreamt of pursuing a career in software engineering, then you are in luck. I'm kicking off a mentoring series, and I have got my friend Anurag from Bangalore joining me today. So, he is in his first year of undergrad and already has his sights set on becoming a great software engineer. I wish I had this sort of mindset back at that age. He brought some burning questions and about breaking into the field, and we are diving deep into each one of them in today's session. Let's go.
So I am Anurag Das and I am currently located in Bangalore. So I'm studying in a college named New Horizon Gurukul, New Horizon College of Engineering. It's a branch. So I am in the ECE branch, Electronics and Communication Engineering, and I want to take my course towards software engineering. I found probably the best mentor out there on YouTube and contacted him, and now I am on live with him.
So Anurag, tell me about this. Like, why do you want to go into software industry and you joined CFC? What is the realization there? Is there any story?
Honestly, yeah, because see, I was quite passionate about coding from honestly a very early age. So I first tried to learn Python in like sixth grade, and that time they used to teach they used to teach information technology in our school, and currently the CBSE has changed their pattern and has put instead of information technology they have put artificial intelligence into it. So in information technology, first we had the QBasic. So in the QBasic, I had done quite some programs, but then I couldn't really take anything to the complete fullest. Completely mastering that skill.
Mm-hmm.
So even in Python, I learned the basics, and then when the time came for changing it into complete professional, outlook of it,
Mm-hmm.
that time due to the time I got into ninth grade, and then the studies pressured up, and then again I left that. So after that in 11, 12, already the portions were very high. So
Yeah.
just to cope up with that, I again stopped coding, and then now I again found it. So I tried to
Got
get
it.
into CSE, but then there were like many roadblocks in the way. So I had to settle down with ECE, but then my complete aim from the start was for software engineering and coding.
Makes sense. I think you're, taking a very good step early in your career because I have a lot of my friends who completed their undergrad in EC and then now they're doing software jobs. It's nothing wrong, but if you have the basics right, you don't have to struggle later in the, once you start into your career. All right. So Anurag gave me a list of questions before this interview. So I will be discussing each and every question as part of this meeting. So let's get into this. Let me share my screen. So as part of today's session, I will go over 12 questions posted by Anurag here. So let's get into this. So the first question here is, which programming language would be the best for me to learn after C in order to be up to date with the market and technology? Right. So basically, I would suggest, this is my personal opinion, but I felt C is very tough language to start with. But for some reason in our curriculum, in first year of undergrad, we always have C because that is like the core language to learn, because we have to deal with the memory management, which is not easy, which I realized it, once I actually started coding. But I would suggest, going for any object-oriented programming language. And if you want me to filter out what is the best object-oriented programming language, I would suggest to go for Python or Java. The reason why I'm telling Python is because the syntax is very, very short, and when compared to other languages, especially if you wanted to crack interviews, this particular language gives you an unfair advantage compared to other languages. Basically, I had explained it as part of one of my videos, telling, showcasing that the lines of code in Java for achieving a program's result versus lines of code in Python. It's very,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
short. Yeah. So that is one of the reasons why I suggest Python, and it's already widely used across industry. And also, it is very easy to start with. If you don't have any knowledge of any programming language, I would definitely suggest you go for Python. On the other hand, I started with Java, and I do see there are a lot of advantages starting with Java because it is somewhat complex to understand at the start. Even though the lines of code are more, you will get to know what you are actually doing. Instead of using a lot of libraries and inbuilt functions, you're gonna write uh, what is the actual thing that you wanted to do. Uh, Sorry, I can't give you concrete examples, but there might be in a lot of examples that I provided in my previous videos.
No, I
Uh,
understood. I understood.
yeah, so these two are now my top choices if you wanted to learn any programming language apart from C.
Okay. So from Python, what I understood is that Python is a very short form language in which you don't have really too much to write in order to get something that you desire. Whereas in Java, though the syntax is a bit complex, but then it's faster.
It depends. So if you want to achieve something real quick, I used to write a lot of Python scripts. For example, if I wanted to debug any logs, I wanted to dump all the logs into a folder, and then I need to do some scraping work. I always tended to use Python because it has a lot of inbuilt
Okay.
libraries, and I can get my job real quick. But
Okay.
and also, it's efficient too. There is no ups and downs about that. But if you go into deep, there are few multi-threading concepts which are lagging in Python. But let's not go into deep at this point.
Hmm.
Uh, but if you wanted to start a project and finish it real quick, I would
Huh?
suggest go for Python, and so that you don't even have to worry about solid principles or whatnot. You can just dump the code in one single big file, and you should be done. But if you wanted to go with Java, obviously there will be a lot of boilerplate code, which you will need to spend more time in order to finish the same project.
Okay. The major reason I was asking this is because I was seeing these job interviews of software engineers, and in some job interviews, especially from Microsoft, they give you this specific language that they want you to code in. So in most cases, that language is either C++ or Java. They don't really prefer Python during a job interview.
Got it. So if you're saying this, like it might be a specific positions, but most of the companies now are like language agnostic. That means you can write your code in any language that you want.
Okay.
But the IDEs don't support some of the language like JavaScript, unfortunately, even though that is like the top language which is famous. But most of the companies, even startups or whatnot, small companies also are language agnostic. So there might be the positions that are specifically if they're asking for C++ or Java, that means you need to be pro in this particular language because that particular project is bound to know all
This
of the
language.
things in advance so that they
Okay.
don't want to waste any time for you to learn the concepts after joining the company.
Okay.
So that might be the
Understood.
reason. Okay, so going to the next question, any courses or boot camps that you would recommend from which I can learn the language? All right, this is a great question. So when I was doing undergrad back in 2008 to 2012, there were courses which are paid, but there is not a lot of content, a lot of good content in YouTube. But because you're just starting your undergrad now, I don't even recommend you spending a penny, uh, because there are a lot of good courses that are available, and which are deep, which are very clear, in order to understand the basics. And there are, in fact, a lot of projects as well where you can just copy what they are doing and tweak a little bit, and you can create your project of own. Does
Okay.
it answer your question?
Yeah. So basically, no bootcamps or like courses are needed.
No courses are
Just
needed
learn it free
because
on YouTube and then implement it as it's going. Okay.
you got it. You got it right.
Yeah.
So one thing that I would say was, if you are from a civil background or some other background where you don't have absolutely anything understanding of a programming language, then I would suggest to go for some courses which are very, very like the beginner courses, which are like a paid version. But
Mhm.
in YouTube, the only thing is you might take it longer to search for what is a good course. But you will definitely find, beginner, intermediate, and to advanced courses for any particular
Okay.
language.
You
If you want,
recommend any other? Do you
I
recommend
will,
any?
yeah. So I might be outdated, but I can take a look at YouTube. I already subscribed to few channels related to that. I will check out the content and I will share those links with you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, going to the next one. In the first year, what should be my ideal goals and skills that should build in order to strengthen my CV and resume so that I can start applying for internships in my second year and have a good chance of landing one? Wow, man, your first year of undergrad and you're looking forward for internships in your second year. That's great, actually. This is a great question. I didn't even have this kind of maturity that we can actually do internships starting from second year. But this is great. So, you know, uh, one thing that I would suggest is always build your portfolio no matter what. So there are two parts in order to crack an internship or a full-time job. One, obviously your experience. Second thing, you need to be good at DSA. So both are equally important to crack any of the software engineering jobs. And I'm telling you only about the top companies, maybe not all companies might ask DSA for the internships, especially in undergrad. But if you wanted to achieve like a good company job offer, they will definitely ask DSA. The second thing is, in order to filter your resume, they will obviously see, the first thing they will see is your experience. They don't see your GPA for sure. Maybe college matters in order to filter your resume for sure. But if you have any referral, if you have any like friends who are working in that company, just like me, you can directly ping them in LinkedIn, and most of the people uh, will start to will look forward to help you. Okay, so for that, first prepare the resume. I have an amazing video that I made how to
Yeah.
prepare a good resume. Go for it, and prepare a resume because you are just starting out fresh. I would suggest build a portfolio. I also recently
Yeah,
did a
I saw
video
the
on the
video.
portfolio, so definitely go for it. And now the first part of the resume, building the portfolio, is done. And as part of that, the projects that you need to put are all the side projects that you're going to do as part of your undergrad.
Okay.
Now, if your curriculum does not have any projects, in your free time, I would suggest start building your projects. Even though if it's a small one, that's okay. Like, if you want me to give examples, you can build a tic-tac-toe game, or you can build any small Android application, which is free. You can publish it and showcase it in
Those
your
are
resume.
accepted.
Oh yeah, why not? Like these are like your
Okay.
side projects, right?
Mhm.
So there is no harm in putting all your side projects in your resume. So once you build like an end-to-end project, put it into GitHub and add all the links in your resume.
Okay.
So that way, obviously, you will be far ahead in the game than your friends while applying from the same college because your resume will
Oh,
definitely stand out.
okay, so you're recommending basically that I make my portfolio first, build up my portfolio, and then second, I create sub projects. So in order to uh, get a better chance at it.
That's right. Because
Okay.
as an undergrad first year, you can't put all the experience, right? So whatever that you
Yeah.
put, like, these are the coursework, this is like the college that you're studying in, this is the GPA, because companies doesn't want all that. That is
Yeah.
all crap. So maybe, as I told, like, your college might matter, but
Hmm.
not your GPA, not your coursework, not your, unless you're applying to a specific position like an ML engineer and you have all the coursework related to that, there might be slight advantage, but as a regular software engineer, no one cares. But
Okay.
build or start implementing a lot of projects, which will definitely add. There are two reasons, right? First, to improve your portfolio by adding a lot of projects, and the second thing, you will learn a lot by doing small projects. You will definitely have issues. Now you will start learning how to debug. Now you have a lot of time. I would definitely suggest in your free
Exactly.
time, do some projects.
Okay.
Okay. So let me share again. All right. So, what are the latest skills and technologies that could help me boost my value in the market? So, as I said, this is like an addition to the previous question.
Yeah.
Um, as I said, like the resume, build your portfolios by projects, and on top of it, I would suggest sticking to one technology and become a pro in it. Okay,
Okay.
so whether it could be Python or Java for the backend, stick to it. But once you start building projects, this is the backend of it. You also need to learn the front end aspect of it. So for the front end, I would suggest learning JavaScript and HTML, and you don't need any other frameworks to overcomplicate stuff. Uh, just the plain JavaScript and HTML, CSS are good enough for building projects. So this is like the whole stuff, right? Once you learn both of these things, you will become almost like a full stack engineer here.
Huh.
Okay, so from the technical or the technology standpoint, either Python or Java for the backend and JavaScript and HTML for the front end. So with these
Okay.
two,
Python or okay. Yeah.
yeah, with these two, keeping in mind, do a lot of projects.
Okay.
Okay. Going to the next question, what are a few things that you would like to change if you could go back to the beginning of your coding journey? This is interesting question. Maybe I will try to find a mentor as you found me, because there was no guidance to me, man, back then, that we need to do this in order to achieve this or something like that. First of all, I did not have maturity to apply for jobs outside of the companies that are coming, except for the companies that are coming for online or on-campus placements. So my mind was to crack the companies that are coming to my college, and I felt like I'm not even qualified for applying, to Google or Facebook or something like that.
Hmm.
But you know, if I could go back, this is what I would think of, like, uh, it doesn't matter whether which college you studied or which coursework that you did. If you build your things straight, as I mentioned about your portfolio, resume, build a lot of
Hmm.
projects with a decent college, you are qualified to apply to any of the companies and crack jobs in it. So maybe I would also find a mentor who can guide me. Uh, okay, going to the next one. What are the things I should be careful of and not run behind my journey? This is a great question. So the hard lesson that I learned was go easy on yourself if things are not going the way that you want to be. The reason why I tell is you prepare hard, you prepare, many number of hours to crack your dream company, and you give your 100% best, but there might be several reasons why you might get rejected, but you will not know because recruiters or no one will tell you what is the reason that you failed. Uh, at that point, at least from my perspective, I became very depressed because I was hoping that I need to get a job in this particular company because that was my dream company. But the thing is, go easy on yourself. There are a lot of good companies, uh, and if at all you get rejected, always remember there is something positive that's going to happen, and which is better than the ones that you lost. Always remember this and go forward, and always try to become better, increase, or have that zeal towards achieving that. If you lost something, dream somewhat bigger, and then start planning to achieve that particular goal. So this is what I would suggest. Okay, so the next question. Okay. All right. So next question: if you were to hire a software engineer at a company you're currently associated with, what are the skills that you would make an applicant a very good candidate for the job? Now, every company is different. They have their own core values, in general. So I'm currently working at Hopper. This is a startup, and almost all the engineers in my team are senior software engineers. They came from different companies like Shopify, Amazon, Twitter, and Wayfair. So basically, at least in order to go to a startup like this, you have to first gain experience. So I would suggest, I'm not telling startups won't hire like the entry-level engineers. If they hire, I would actually encourage you to join startup because you would learn a lot when compared to other companies which are already established. For example, if you go to FANG, any of the companies at FANG or any top companies, right? The project must have already implemented, so you will not get a chance to work on projects from the scratch. So it's all on top of it, so you will not have the complete end-to-end exposure. So I would suggest, depending on the project, if you want, if at all, if you're looking, which type of projects or the companies that you want to work with, I would always suggest to go for the projects that are starting from scratch. And the second thing is, check for the projects or the companies where there are good engineers that came from other good companies, so that you can learn from them. Okay. Now, coming back to your original question, what are some of the skills that I would hire? I would definitely look at your portfolio, or the projects that you did, and what is the level of complexity of the projects that you worked on for selecting you. And the second part, as I said, obviously you have to be really good at data structures and algorithms. So that is a whole new topic. But than focusing on DSA now, I would recommend you to focus on implementing projects. And when the time comes, probably before the internship, a month or two, you can start grinding Leetcode to crack the interviews.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're suggesting that I first start off with the projects, learn from the projects, and then go into Leetcode or Hackerrank and build my level there.
Exactly. That's right.
Okay.
So the reason why I'm telling this was, first of all, you need a lot of time in order to implement a project end to end. Okay.
Hmm.
Because you are starting from the scratch, you're learning the language, you're learning the concepts, foundations, and also you will be uh, coding along with the one whom you are following with a course or in a YouTube. Uh, so there is already a lot to learn, and on top of
Hmm.
it, if you are starting the lead code parallelly, it might not work because you will lose interest in building your projects. Because
Okay.
projects are fun. DSA, I don't know, like after doing probably like after a month or whatnot, I generally lose interest unless uh, I'm preparing for interviews because that is a
Oh,
motivation for me to prepare for
yeah.
interviews, right?
Okay.
Anyways, now even though if you start learning now, you will definitely forget by the time you are giving interviews. So that's a different plan. All right.
Okay.
So next one, what are your thoughts on the platforms such as Leetcode, Hackerrank, and when should I take the challenge then? So yes, so we are
Yeah.
right on track. Yeah, we are right on track. As I said, don't worry about the Leetcode or Hackerrank at all currently. Start focusing on implementing projects and building your portfolio now. And
Hmm.
probably you will start applying uh, into one for internships. Uh, and as soon as you wanted to apply the internships, I would like to focus you more on lead code. Uh,
Okay.
try to not jump into lead code, but first learn the basics. Uh, I have a different course of how to actually start if you have like a 3 month time. That is like a detailed version of how you have to prepare so that your foundations will be strong and you will not
Okay.
forget all these concepts. Now, if you jump directly to lead code, the first question you will do on hash map or 10 questions you will do on hash map, and then you will jump into graphs or something like that. But there is no particular pattern. But if you follow the curriculum or the course that I mentioned in YouTube, there is a definite plan and it will flow as in like a story. So that's
Okay.
what helped me. I hope that will help you as well.
Okay. I'll check it out.
All right. Going to the next one. So, what are your thoughts on competitive coding or hackathons? And if okay, could you explain them to me in short? Sure. So, hackathons or any competitions, generally, how is it going to happen was they will give a short problem or a long problem to solve. If you have, then you got to decide like how many team members that you wanted to have. It's like a mini project with a certain amount of time, right? So just for example, let's launch a website to search for petrol bunks near me. Okay, that's the project. Now, you got to, as a team lead, if you're the team lead, now you got to ask your team, this is a project that we're going to build. Now you're going to lay out the foundation, gathering the requirements, what is the scope of the project that you wanted to work on, because you will be given only certain amount of time, probably like 2 days of work, or 2 full days at a stretch, as a hackathon, uh, and you got to achieve that result, right? So you will need to gather the requirements, you will need to design, you will need to architect, and then you need to lay out the building blocks, like a high level design, low level design, and then uh, agree on the language that you wanted to implement this in front end and back end, because everyone should be okay with that. And then you will parallelize the tasks in between these people, and then as a lead you will regularly check, probably for every 1 hour or so, You will add a stand-up, just like a small check-in. If they are blocked, you will go ahead and block them so that people will be making progress, and you will at last finally declare everything, and then you will present the solution to the challenge. This is the whole challenge because you're going to expose to different environment if you go to competitions like this, because you're going to meet new people. uh, you will need to achieve something within less span of time. That's what the hackathon is all about.
Okay, and like how are the rankings done in there? Like if you got winner at a hackathon,
Right.
then how are they done? Like who can do it in the shortest amount of time? What is the exact point, or which one is most efficient?
Sure. So not necessarily in the shortest amount of time. I would suggest, even though if you did complete the, as fast as possible compared to others, I would definitely suggest to improve on top of that, because there is already a short amount of time that they already kept. Now as a judge, they will have number of criteria to look forward, like whether it is optimized, it is showing the correct results, how is it looking for, and edge cases, is the app breaking, uh, and probably the speed of the system or the APIs that you implemented. So they will have like a lot of stuff
Okay,
to look forward. It's not like a concrete thing that I can
understood.
give, but yeah.
Yeah. And
All
what
right.
about the competitive coding part?
So competitive coding is also a good source of exposure. It could be, again, the competitive coding hackathon also might also come under competitive coding, but there might be some other coding challenges where you have to visit the on-site to take them. Uh, I believe it's again a small type of project, but not like a hackathon. They are already well-defined requirements what you need to do, and those type of codings, the time matters and your optimization matters, time complexity, space complexity matters. So it's a little bit
Okay.
different than hackathon.
Okay. And so I should start these once I'm good enough with DSA. Right.
That's right. So
Okay.
hackathons, you might not require a DSA knowledge, but for competitive coding, yes, definitely DSA is helpful.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Next question. Okay. So more experience in which field is appealing to the recruiter, development or DSA? Yeah, we already covered this. Uh, it's both. Sorry, it's not actually DSA. It's about how much experience that you have and what are the different type of projects that you got exposed to. That will help you to filter your resume, and after the filtration, the DSA comes into picture. All the interviews will be, you will be given a certain problem, and you got to solve with the different data structures and algorithms. So
Okay.
so that is again a different part, because you need to work on your time complexity, space complexity, and the best algorithm that you need to use for solving different problems. Excuse me.
Okay.
Okay. What would you, as my mentor, recommend I work on to achieve for the next 1 to 2 weeks? Great. So, as I said, I would recommend you to jump into building your portfolio. Uh, Start with any small application. So I started my journey with one Android app. Um, I implemented tic-tac-toe, and during that time, there was no tic-tac-toe game at all. So I implemented this and I published it to Google Store, and there were about 10K downloads at the time.
Oh,
And I also started adding multiplayer to that. Uh, so this gave me a big boost actually, because people are actually used my particular web app, and I was proud of myself at that time. Uh,
yeah.
but
So like if
later,
you compare it to now, then there is like a hell lot of games out there.
right? So
Yeah.
it's not just about for someone else, but it's for you,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So because you will understand like how to upload, how to build an APK, what is the framework overall, what is IDE looks like. So you will already be exposed to everything before you jump directly into a job. So
Okay. Understand.
I'm just giving it as an added example because it is free to upload, but you can
Mm-hmm.
start with any web app also, web application, because that way you'll be exposed to both front end and back end as well.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So last question. Any questions you would like to ask me in order to understand my current position better? What could help you mentor me in a more efficient? Sure. So, because you're starting very early in your career, we can have these regular one-on-ones if you would like, probably
Sure. Sure.
monthly
I
ones or
would love
something like
that.
that. Yeah, we can assign some time, monthly ones, or if it's not needed, probably quarterly ones, just to check how things are going, so that I can update on what things you're working on, and I can give guidance if necessary.
Okay.
But yeah, apart from that, I really love your maturity, man. Your first year,
Thank you.
you're finding some mentors in YouTube and you're reaching out to them. Oh, that itself is a big achievement, I would say. So, uh, don't lose passion. Definitely try, everything while you can, while you have time. Do a lot of projects and have fun. Also, don't go easy on yourself. Don't go too hard if something doesn't come your way. That's all I
Sure.
wanted to say. All right.
Thank you.
So,
These are the questions.
sure. Are there any other questions that you wanted to ask, or you good?
Right now, not really. Right now,
Great.
all the doubts I had were cleared.
All right. So, good to meet you again, Anurag. All the very
Yeah.
best.
Lovely to meet you.
Yep,
Thank
we'll
you.
be in touch.